I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering, negativity is a plague for the mentally weak, no mercy, all I got is working, never stop searching, never quite so thirsty, I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it, it's been chronic, since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic,
built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the cast, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it, I just wanna be iconic, sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it, you know that I'm always honest, stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything, it's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy, I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity, come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless, spread just like a virus, living in a crisis, do you feel courageous, do you seek greatness, trust me you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the gas, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
Welcome back, folks, to the Thursday edition of the Betting Pros live stream. We're looking at NBA sides, totals, player props. We only have a couple days left of the regular season, so it's real important to analyze each of these games. Who has to play and wants to move up? Who wants to tank? We're going to give it to you all here on the Betting Pros live stream. I'm Mike Randall. You can follow me on Twitter at Randall Rant. You know the deal. Subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel. You can join us in the live chat. Put your best bets in there. If you have any questions, let them know. We will get to them throughout this entire broadcast. So many great deals at the sites. Remember, DraftKings, FanDuel, PointsBet, BetMGM. That's where we use the book. Shop around, get the best line. There was a lot of fluctuation here, so I had to go back and forth to find the ones that I really liked. New users to BetMGM, we still have that deal going throughout the entire season. Bet $10 in any event, and you'll win $150 in free credits regardless of the outcome of the bet. All you need to do, promo code JUICE150 at sign up, and the link, as always, is in the video description or pinned in the live chat. Make sure to go to Betting Pros. Of course, we have our incredible cheat sheet, all the great stuff there, articles to help you break this down. It is critical that you know who is sitting, who is starting, who is tanking, who is trying to make a move. And that is the theme of our picks today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Orlando, plus 14 at Charlotte, minus 110 on DK, under 230.5, minus 110 on DK. Look, folks, I don't think Charlotte is good enough to win this game by 14 points at home. There is minimal motivation for the Hornets here. Charlotte locked into that 10th spot. They're 1.5 games behind Atlanta and Brooklyn with just 2 to go. Very unlikely for them to move up. 2 games for the Nets and Hawks, and 3 for the Hornets. I think what the Hornets are going to try to do is get their players some rest and get ready for the playoffs. Charlotte is good at home, 20-18-1 in home games, but Orlando, very respectable, 22-18 against the spread in road games. So both teams over 500 against the spread. Orlando has covered 2 of the 3 matchups against Charlotte this year. Charlotte hasn't been great down the stretch. They haven't covered in 5 of the 8 games. The Magic have struggled, losing 6 of 7, but they have been competitive, the Magic. Beat Cleveland at home, covered at Cleveland, lost in OT to Sacramento. There's some fight in the Magic. Charlotte is not really a blow-you-out team, especially against subpar opponents. If you look at their box scores, they're letting up an awful lot of points to teams that are not the elite of the NBA. Mo Bamba has really come on for Orlando, 21-16 and 6 blocks against Cleveland, 3 double-doubles in a row. Who has allowed the fewest points in the last 2 weeks in the NBA? Yes, it's our Orlando Magic tonight at 103 points per game. Hornets team has done nothing to impress me. Yes, they can score. Yes, they can get electric on offense, but they lost at home to a struggling Nuggets team. They were blitzed by quality teams. But they still crushed Philly and Miami, but they lost at home to the Knicks by 15. I think they play to the level of their competition. This is a good rest spot. First leg of a back-to-back with the Bulls. Orlando, our first pick, plus 14 at Charlotte, minus 110 on DK. And we believe in that Magic defense. We believe in it so much, we're also going to go under 230.5, minus 110 on DK. A low-scoring game that Orlando keeps competitive tonight. Second game, this line has flipped, but my opinion has not changed. Boston, plus 8.5 at Milwaukee tonight. On DK, Boston plus versus Milwaukee under 227.5. Now listen, this line has gone up from 6, and I took Boston at 6, to 8.5, and I took them again at 8.5. And you may even get lucky now. No Al Horford, no Jason Tatum, because those players are out. This line could get to 9, 9.5. Well, folks, do you remember back when the Celtics played at the Raptors a couple weeks ago? 115 to 112 in overtime. Toronto won. What happened in that game? Grant Williams, Aaron Naismith, Tice, Smart, White, all double digits. Hauser and Pritchard off the bench had double-digit scoring. This is a team and a system that is live against whoever they play. The Bucks obviously are going to be motivated here, but are they motivated enough to win by double digits? I don't think so. Boston currently has the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference. They owe tiebreakers over Miami and Philly, but all 3 are sort of tied for that spot. Now, unless Miami loses at least 2 of the final 3 games, the number 1 seed's out of reach. But the number 2 would be a great spot for Boston. I don't think they're tanking here. I think they have a back-to-back. I think they're resting their players, but they're going to play hard, and the line is going to adjust. It's going to go too much in the other direction. The Bucks have been playing well, but this is a system team. You've seen Marcus Smart. You've seen Jaylen Brown. They can play well enough to keep this game close. Right now, Boston cooking. They've covered 8 of 11. They've won 9 of 12 straight up, 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games. They've scored 125 points or more in 7 of 10, and that included the Toronto game where they rested most of their team. We saw DeMar DeRozan scorch Milwaukee. There's certainly enough offense on the Celtics team to do that. I expect Boston to play very well. They are better on the road against the spread than they are at home. 23-15-1, 60% covering percentage on the road. That's 5th best. Bucks offense has also been clicking over in 4 or 5, but the Celtics get their pace, and I think they get it tonight. I think the Bucks win. I don't think they cover, and I think the game is a low-scoring game. So the natural pairing here for game 2, Boston plus 8.5 at Milwaukee, minus 110 on DK. I bet you it gets to 9 or maybe even 9.5 by tip. And Boston versus Milwaukee under 227.5. Question here from Daryl Turner. Mo Bamba playing like a franchise center, no longer a bust topic. That is correct, Daryl. I completely agree with you. He's been hot, and those are the sort of players, Daryl, that you want to back here. Mo Bamba is playing to impress. Mo Bamba is playing for next year. Those are the players that are not going to be tanking. That's who you want to back. Next game, you should not be surprised by this if you've watched this live stream. San Antonio plus 8 at Minnesota, minus 112 on DK. It was 8.5. It's dropped to 8. I'm still taking it. And Spurs at Timberwolves under 240. You know what's going on here. The Spurs are 8-2 in their last 10, and losing DeJounte Murray hasn't slowed them one bit. In Pop, we trust. They clinched the play-in tournament. They got that with their last win, but now they can get it at home. The Spurs have covered 7 of 8. They've won 7 of 8. The only time they lost, they still covered. They lost twice prior to Minnesota, and I think third time's the charm here. No back-to-back. They had a day off before and a day off after, and the Spurs could actually leapfrog the Pelicans for the 9 spot there in that 9-10 game. Timberwolves are basically stuck in the 7. They're unlikely to catch Denver 2 games back with 3 to play. I don't see the motivation for the Timberwolves here at all. They have Chicago on Sunday. They just lost at home to Washington. Pop's defense also has started to lock down. Spurs under in 13 of the last 18 games. Spurs under 3 of the last 4. Spurs under 7 of the last 9. Timberwolves loves to score, and they hit the over in 3 in a row, but that was against Denver, not nearly as good defensively as San Antonio. Houston, forget it, and Washington. That's not what they're going to see tonight. Both teams play with a fast pace, but that has inflated the total. This was actually at 242, and even though the majority of money's on the over, the number's going down, which I like. Spurs +8 to cover against Minnesota, -112 on FanDuel, and Spurs versus Timberwolves under 240, -110 on DK. Now let's get to some player props. Remember, folks, always go to our BettingPros cheat sheet, 56 to 57% on the top 20 this year. It continues to roll. Couple I want to talk about here. First, we're going to go with Tyrese Maxey. The theme that you're going to see with my props is I want players who have something to play for. You have the Sixers going on the road against a good Toronto team. Now, you never know what Nick Nurse is going to dial up here, but Maxey has been scalding hot, and the over on his assists is 3.5 assists +105 on PointsBet. I am taking Tyrese Maxey over 3.5. Look at his box score. He's been scalding hot. This is a big game. You know the Raptors are going to try to limit Embiid, Harden. Maxey is the guy who teams tend to let go off if needed. The Sixers want this game. There's no tanking implications. They're looking for seeding. I like Tyrese Maxey. Give me the young legs. Over 3.5 assists. He can kick to Harden. He can kick to Embiid inside. Tobias Harris. Maxey so undervalued. That's my first prop. Over 3.5 assists +105 on PointsBet. Next up, Chris Middleton for the Bucks, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists +105 on DK. The reason I like Middleton here is the plus money. They're going against Boston. Boston tends to switch on all the screens. We talked about this last time when they played Miami, and we hit Kyle Lowry's over on his assists. Middleton going to be able to find people to kick. Boston's still going to switch tonight. That opens up teams that are good passing teams that can hit the roll, and that's what the Bucks do. Chris Middleton looking to get involved, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists, and you get plus money for it. I'll grab that every time on DK +105. Chris Middleton over 10.5 rebounds and assists. Next one, pretty simple, folks. The Joker wants the MVP. Nikola Jokic from Denver, over 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -115 on DK. You have a Denver team. You have Embiid. You have Denver. Embiid versus Jokic. They're going for the title. It's flip-flop. Joker is now the favorite, the betting favorite for the MVP, but they're playing Memphis tonight at home. Denver needs a good outing, and they haven't had one for a long, long time. So I'm going to end up going here with Joker. I want to back players that are motivated. Look at Jokic's box score. He's been killing it. He wants the MVP. Denver needs him. They really don't have much offense outside of Aaron Gordon and him. So in a home game, when they've been losing and the MVP's on the line, Nikola Jokic over 49.5 points, rebounds, assists, -115 on DK. Couple others. Anthony Edwards of Minnesota, under 20.5 points, -115 on DK. This is a bet on the San Antonio defense. They've struggled with Karl Anthony Towns. Just look at the last time they played. But I think the defense comes up here tonight in a game the Spurs are going to want to win. I think they limit Edwards, who can be very hot and cold. He's a huge roller coaster here. 20.5 points, -115 on DK. You will know right away if you can go to the window in this one, because if Edwards is hot early, we lose. But if he comes out struggling, it's a number that he is going to struggle to hit tonight. So the fourth one here, Anthony Edwards of Minnesota, under 20.5 points, -115 on DK. Two I like here, I'm going to Trey Jones. Trey Jones, the starting point guard here for the Spurs. With DeJounte Murray out, Trey Jones has done an amazing job for the Spurs. Two I want to hit here, and they're both plus money. Number one, over a half a three-pointer made, +190 on DK. And the second for Trey Jones, over 12.5 points plus 100 on FanDuel. What Minnesota does is they give up three-pointers in bunches because they hedge hard. They're aggressive on defense. Teams destroy them from three. Trey Jones, point guard, playing well, a lot of overhelp. He's going to get an opportunity. He's just got to make one. You know he can make them. You saw him in Duke in the championship game years ago. He can get hot, and you're getting almost 2-1 on Trey Jones making 1-3. I will grab it, and I will also grab Trey Jones over 12.5 points, minus 110 on FanDuel. His prop for assists I like, but the juice is a little high on 7.5. So I will grab the points here in what I think is a super competitive game that San Antonio keeps close. If I like it, then I have to like a player here on San Antonio, and I'm going to go with him as well. Couple more that I will look at. Two left. Joel Embiid, for the same reasons that I told you about Joker. Joel Embiid, over 47.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 120 on DK. Embiid can be an issue. He can have a 15, 16 rebound game. Every interview that you're seeing with him, they're talking that he's the real MVP. They're going to feed him tonight against Toronto that struggles against bigs on the interior. Embiid, Maxey playing well. I don't like Harden as much, but the juice isn't great there. So the next one, Joel Embiid, over 47.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 120 on DK. And two more I'll give you. PJ Washington of Charlotte, under 12.5 points, minus 110 on DK. This one I picked off our BettingPros cheat sheet. It's number 10, our 10th favorite prop tonight. PJ Washington, under 12.5 points, minus 110 on DK. We project him at BettingPros for only 10.4 points tonight for Charlotte. You have a Charlotte team here. You know my feelings with them tonight. Playing a good defensive Orlando team. I am going to go with PJ Washington and go under. A couple another question here from Daryl. I'll get this one quick. How many game unders do you see tonight? It's a good question. If I look at the schedule, the under in Boston, Milwaukee is attractive. The under in Orlando for the defense. Philly, Toronto, Daryl, I don't have a read on because I think both teams are going to be playing hard. I think that's a questionable game. Minnesota, San Antonio, I do like the under in that game total because I believe in Popovich, the Spurs, and the consistency that they've played with. New Orleans, Portland, good luck with that one. I am not touching that one at all. Memphis, Denver, same thing. And then the Lakers, Golden State with players sitting out. Again, I don't like to handicap games when players are in and out. I want to see players at their best. The only one that I'm going with here tonight where there are players out is Boston, Milwaukee, because I believe in the Celtics defensive system that much. And the last prop I'll give you tonight, folks, CJ McCollum of the Pelicans, over 23.5 points, minus 115 on DK. Very simple. Ingram is doubtful. It's still a revenge game. He had 25 at Portland in the first time he played the Trailblazers with the Pelicans, and he was out for a quarter and a half of that game. So now you have him at home. I think he gets that number again. I think he puts up another 25, and no Brandon Ingram. Smells to me like it's going to be McCollum early and often tonight in that game. So, folks, don't forget, we've had some great jersey giveaways. Absolutely fantastic. Last one we had was the Dennis Rodman on the Bulls. What's better than that? We will have another jersey giveaway coming up very, very soon. So make sure to come back, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, keep those comments coming. We will be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. for more picks, back-to-back, and a belly-to-belly. The NBA season is winding down. Where do you go to get your information? You go to BettingPros. We'll set it up for you. I'm Mike Randall for the BettingPros live stream. We will see you tomorrow.